Okay, so in today's class, what we are going to study, we will discuss scalars and vectors. Okay, you are already aware uh, about these physical quantities known as scalars and vectors, but let's consider it as a quick recap. Okay, so scalar are basically physical quantity that required only magnitude to be completely described, or we can say it is a physical quantity that can be described by magnitude only. Okay, if I give you an example of scalar, so example can be time, volume, density, speed, energy, and mass. Whereas if we discuss vector, so vector is basically that physical quantity that required magnitude, and in addition to that, it also required direction to be completely described. So what we can say that it possesses both direction as well as magnitude. So if I give you some examples, it can be displacement, velocity, acceleration, torque, force, momentum, and so many others. Okay, so vector, it can be usually represented by a bold and non-italic letter as shown over here. And as I have told you, vector is a combination of two things. One is magnitude and the other one is direction. So the magnitude of vector is represented by non-bold and italic letter usually. So you can see this is the magnitude and the small n is representing the direction. This small n is basically known as unit vector. So what is unit vector? Unit vector is a vector whose magnitude is 1 and that basically represents the direction of vector. So unit vector whose magnitude is 1 and whose direction coincide with that of given vector. So unit vector can be formed by dividing any vector such as the geometric position vector by its length or magnitude. So you can get this unit vector by dividing vector over its magnitude, right? So unit vector again, it can have component in x direction, y direction, and z direction. So the component of unit vector along x direction is usually represented as I. The unit vector along y direction is given as j, and the unit vector along z direction is given as k. Okay. Then in vectors, we can have different types of vectors. So the first type that we are going to discuss, it is basically fixed vector. Now, what is fixed vector? Uh, as this word indicate that it will be having a fixed magnitude, it will be having a fixed direction, its direction and magnitude will not change. And apart from these two things, it will be having a fixed point of application, right? Point of application means where the vector is applied or where uh, the vector position is. So the three things, it is having constant magnitude and direction, and then it is having, you need point of application of force. So here is an example. The force is applied over here. When we apply this force on this component, some deformation produced, but still this point of application of force doesn't change. So that's why I have given an example. This force on deformable body, it can be an example of fixed vector. Okay, then we have another type of vector which is known as sliding vector. So you have to keep three things in mind: magnitude, direction, and point of application of force. So in case of sliding vector, the direction and magnitude remain same, but the point of application of force, it slide. It can move, you can change that along the line of action of force. For example, if this is object, if you apply some force on this one, so you can see if I extend this one, this is known as the line of action of force. So sliding vector, in case of sliding vector, the vector, it can move along this line of action, means the point of application of force can move along the line of action, but the direction and magnitude will remain the same, right? So in this case, we are having unique line of action, not unique point of application. So in this case, the point of application that can basically slide along the line of action. So in this case, we don't have any unique point of application. The point of application, it can slide along the line of action. So here we have an example. that means the force is applied on coach over here. If you apply the same force over here or the same force over here, it will be having same effect on the overall system. Okay, based on the sliding vector, we are having one principle that is known as principle of transmissibility. What principle of transmissibility says? It says that if we are having an object, and on this object if we apply some force, so this is the line of action of force. If we take this force and apply it over here, or instead of here, if we apply it over here, so the overall effect of force on that object, it will remain the same, right? So what principle of transmissibility says? It says that you can move the point of application of force along the line of action of force. Means you can move that point of application of force anywhere along that line of action of force, but you cannot move it away from the line of action of force. Okay, so what it is saying, that you can apply this force anywhere along the line of action of force, and the net effect due to this force, it will not be changed. So here we have this example, means this force P, it can be applied to that point B, it can be applied to this point C, and it can be applied to this point A. It doesn't matter whether you apply this force over here, or over here, it will be having same effect. But remember, the direction and magnitude will remain the same. You cannot change the direction and magnitude. So you can see principle of transmissibility, application of force at any point along a particular line of action. If you do so, there will be no change in resultant external effects of the force. Okay, so this is the force. We are having this line of action. So means even if we change this point of application of force to this one, and this point is again on this line of action of force, so there will be no change in the net effect of that force on the system. This is known as principle of transmissibility. Okay, then first we discuss fixed vector, in which all three remain constant: the point of application of force, magnitude, and direction. And in second case, we had the fixed magnitude and direction, and the point of application of force.
Excuse me, sir.
जी
सर ये स्लाइडिंग फोर्स में एक क्वेश्चन था मेरा।
जी
सर ये आपने जिस तरह कहा कि लाइन ऑफ एक्शन ऑफ फोर्स के अलोंग हम किसी भी पॉइंट पे फोर्स लगाएं तो वो सेम रहेगी, कोई इफेक्ट नहीं मतलब चेंज होगा।
जी
तो अगर दरवाजे का केस है तो उसको अगर हम बिल्कुल वेज पे लगाते हैं तो वो कम फोर्स अप्लाई करता है, लेकिन जब बिल्कुल वो उसके कॉर्नर पॉइंट पे लगा,
हाँ, तो वहां पे आपने लाइन ऑफ एक्शन ऑफ फोर्स चेंज कर दिया ना, ठीक है? वहां पे आपने क्या कर दिया, लाइन ऑफ एक्शन ऑफ फोर्स
एक्सप्लेन कर दें।
ओके, फॉर एग्जांपल it will be little difficult in 2D, but let me try to draw that door in 3D. Okay, if I apply this force over here, right? So this is the point of application of the line of application of force. So instead of this point, if you apply it over here, you see you have changed the line of application of force. If I apply this force over here, or over here, the effect will be same. But instead of this one, if I apply this force over here and this is the hinge, then its effect will be changed, right? That's why we says in principle of transmissibility, you can change the point of application of force along the line of action of force, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So we were having three things: magnitude, direction, and the third one is basically point of application. Okay, so in a vector in which all three remain fixed is known as fixed vector. In a vector in which the point of application can slide along the line of action is known as sliding vector. And a vector in which the point of application of force can be moved anywhere. It can move along the line of action of force, it can move away from the line of action of force. You can apply that vector anywhere. It doesn't depend on the line of action or the point of application of force or vector. Such type of vector will be known as free vector. You can move that anywhere. And example of free vector is basically moment of a couple. Now what is couple, we will discuss it in our coming classes, but for the time being, you need to memorize that the example of free vector is basically couple. So in free vector, the magnitude and the direction of force or the vector, it will remain same, but it does not depend on the point of application of force. You can apply that vector anywhere, right? If you change the point of application of force along the line of action or away from the line of action, no change in the external effect or no change due to that vector overall effect will take place, right? Means if you change the point of application of force anywhere, the overall net effect due to that force or due to that vector, it will remain the same, right? Okay, now we have, since we are talking about vectors, so we can add and we can subtract vectors. How we can do so? For example, if we are having two vectors, A and B, and if I want to add them, so usually you add two things, you get a third quantity. So let's say we are having two vectors, A and B. If I want to add them, so I will get another vector, and that vector is known as usually resultant vector. Let the resultant vector be R. Okay, so how we can add them? We can have different method, but one of the method is head to tail rule. So in head to tail rule, we join the head of first vector to the tail of second vector, like this, right? And if you're having third vector, we join the head of second vector to the tail of third vector. And finally, when we do all these things, then for the resultant vector, we join the tail of first vector to the head of last vector, right? This is known as head to tail rule. I hope you already understand this thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is basically head to tail. So how we can do so? We add both these vectors and we get one resultant vector. Okay, then vector subtraction. If you want to do vector subtraction, for example, you are having vector A and you are having vector B, and you want to find out a resultant vector, let's say that is C, and that is equal to A minus B. You have to do subtraction. So what you need to do, you need to first find minus B. What is minus B? That is negative of a vector. And negative of vector can be obtained by reversing the direction of vector B. So by reversing the direction, what we get? We get that negative of a vector. So now we get A minus B. So what we can do? We can add these two vectors, means vector A and that negative of vector B, add them and you will get the resultant. So now we are having one vector like this and one vector like this. So by using head to tail rule, join the head of this one with the tail of second one, as we did over here. And then for resultant, join the tail of first vector with the head of last vector. So from here we can get the resultant vector, right? Okay, so we are having different laws of vector addition. One of them is head to tail rule, which I just discussed. Then we can have parallelogram law of addition. We can have vector addition through its rectangular components, but we will discuss the remaining things in next classes. For time being, we have discussed head to tail rule, which you have done in very much detail in your FSC or O-level, A-level classes. Okay. In parallelogram law of addition, what we do, for example, if you are having two vectors, like this vector and this vector. So what you need to do, the very first step will be join tails of the vectors, both vectors. You need to join the tails of both vectors, right? So when you join the tail, you will get something like this. Then you need to make a parallelogram out of them, means draw a parallel line to this one over here, and then a parallel line to this vector over here. Okay, when you do so, you will get a parallelogram. It's not a rectangle, it's a parallelogram, right? Means the opposite side in this case are parallel. Okay, once you do so, what you will do, the point where you join both these vectors, means are the tail of both vectors, you need to draw a diagonal from here. Okay, when you draw a diagonal, this diagonal will be basically the resultant vector, right? So in this case, V is equal to V1 plus V2. This V is the resultant vector, this is vector 1, this is vector 2. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Sir, can we add more
सर
than two
अगर दो
vectors
से
by
ज्यादा वेक्टर हो
Exactly. Very good question. Let's see. Okay. So we already aware that, for example, if you are having two vectors, one is having 3 magnitude, other is having 2 magnitude. So definitely the vector sum will not be equal to 5, like scalar sum. Right? It will not be equal to 5. Means you need to write down its vector form, and you need to do vector addition. And after doing vector addition, when you get some resultant vector, you need to find out magnitude of that resultant vector. So I just explained that thing over here. Then the question, as you have asked the question, that if you are having more than two vectors, if you are having 3, 4, 5, 10, many vectors, so in that case, what we need to do? Let's say if you are having 3 vectors. So this is a system. This is a system. In this system, 3 forces are applied: F1, F2, and F3. What we need to find, this is basically plus. Okay, we need to find resultant, and resultant is F1 plus F2 plus F3. So in this case, what we can do, we can first find F2 plus F3. Let's say this F2 plus F3 is R1, and once we find it out, we will add it with this one. How we can do it? As I have told you, we can move force along the line of action, right? Means we can change the point of application of force along the line of action of force, and it will be having no change in the overall effect. Okay, so we need to add F2 and F3 first, F2 and F3, right? So let's move this F2 over here, F2 over here, and this F3 also over here. We slide F2 and F3, right? Okay, now what we can do, we can make a parallelogram by drawing a parallel line over here and a parallel line over here. And how we can find out the resultant? This is the resultant, right? This R1 is the resultant. So now what we got one F1 over here, and we got another force R1 over here. Now we want to add this R1 with F1, right? So R1, again, I can slide it along the line of action of force. So this is the line of action of force for this one. I can move forward or back. So let's say this is R1. I can also move this force along the line of action of force. So now we are having R1. What is R1? R1 is equal to F2 plus F3, and this is F1. So make a parallelogram and draw a diagonal. You will get this R. So what is this R? This R is basically equal to F1 plus R1. What is R1? R1 is equal to F2 plus F3. So this means R is equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3. Right?
Excuse me, sir.
Ji, sir.
Sir, is this follow associative law or not, sir? Like we take F1 and F2 rather than F2 and F3.
Yes, you can do. You can change the sequence. You can first add F1 plus F2, and then you can add F3 with it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So you're already aware of this formula. जी जी
सर अगर हमारे पास 4 वेक्टर्स है ना, हम उसको ऐड कर रहे हैं, तो हम पहले F1 और F2 को ऐड करेंगे और फिर F3 और F4 को ऐड करेंगे और फिर उन दोनों के रिजल्टेंट से हमारे पास रिजल्टेंट आएगा।
एग्जैक्टली इसी तरह, ठीक है।
और अगर हम उसको इस तरह करें जिस तरह आपने 3 वेक्टर्स का किया।
ओके, वन मोर थिंग, जिस तरह इन्होंने अभी कहा, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू आर हैविंग 5 फैक्टर्स, so then in that case you need to, क्योंकि अभी we are in very initial stages, so then you have to look के आया जो हमारे पास जितने भी vectors है, for example if you are having 5 vectors, so in that case using parallelogram is a feasible option. Is it कहीं ज्यादा टाइम कंज्यूमिंग तो ये नहीं है? अगर ज्यादा टाइम कंज्यूमिंग है तो हमारे पास सेट टू टेल रूल मौजूद है। आया वो अगर लेस टाइम कंज्यूमिंग है, वी विल यूज दैट वन। और वी इफ यू आर हैविंग वेक्टर एडिशन थ्रू रेक्टेंगुलर कंपोनेंट्स, फिर हम उसकी तरफ जाएंगे। सो वी नीड टू लुक इनटू इट, ठीक है?
यस सर।
ओके, रिगार्डिंग like the question that you are asking, let's try, let's have an example. आप ऐसा करें, कोई भी एक प्रॉब्लम उठा लें, ठीक है, जिसमें 4 वेक्टर्स हो या 5 वेक्टर्स हो, और इस तरह सीक्वेंस आगे पीछे कर लें, ठीक है. सो द बेस्ट थिंग इन इंजीनियरिंग, यू नीड टू प्रैक्टिस. तो आप जब प्रैक्टिस करेंगे आपको अंदाजा हो जाएगा, ठीक है. 2 वेक्टर्स जिस तरह आपने कहा a प्लस b प्लस c प्लस d है, आप a प्लस d कर लें, ठीक है, और c प्लस b कर लें, और उसको ऐड करें, फिर a प्लस b c प्लस d और उनको ऐड कर दें, तो देखें दोनों से रिजल्टेंट में क्या डिफरेंस आता है, ठीक है. एंड देन शेयर द रिजल्ट विद अस. सो लेट्स सी कि क्या उससे होता है, ठीक है.
यस सर.
Okay, so in this way the different queries that is coming to our mind, it will get clear, but you need to make sure कि आप थोड़ा सा स्केल वगैरह का ख्याल रखें, क्योंकि हमारे जो ह्यूमन एरर की वजह से डायरेक्शन वगैरह चेंज हो जाते हैं, उसमें फिर थोड़ी सी कंफ्यूजन हो जाती है. ओके, सो ट्रिग्नोमेट्रिक रूल्स, यू आर ऑलरेडी अवेयर ऑफ दीज थिंग्स, बट जस्ट फॉर योर ईज, जस्ट फॉर रिव्यू और जस्ट फॉर रिकैप, ताकि आगे आपको मसला ना हो, मैं थोड़ा सा इसको रिवाइज कर देता हूँ. For example, if you are having right angle triangle, so in right angle triangle we can write like sine theta, for example, if this is theta, and if this is like vertical, and if this is base, right? So what we can say, and this is hypotenuse. So as per our knowledge, sine theta is equal to, this is vertical or perpendicular, whatever you call it, let it be perpendicular, and this is base. So sine theta will be equal to what? Perpendicular by hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse.
What about cos theta?
Base by hypotenuse.
Base by hypotenuse.
Okay, what about tangent?
Perpendicular by base.
Okay, now
perpendicular by base.
Okay, if we don't have right angle triangle, then we cannot use this trigonometric ratios, right? For example, if we have this factor, now this factor, in this factor we don't have any 90 degree, right? So we need to use some other rule. Okay, let's say we are having these 3 sides, one is having length c, length a, length b, right? So for this one we can use cosine law. What cosine law say? For example, if this side is unknown, so according to cosine law, this c square, that will be equal to this side square, a square plus b square, okay, and then minus 2ab into cos of angle opposite to this c. तो इसका opposite angle कौन सा है? Small c, right? Okay, if I want to remove this square from here, so I will take square root, and you can get this thing as shown over here. So c is equal to a square plus b square minus 2ab cos c. If you want to find out side b, for example, by using cosine law, so what will be your equation? It will be b square is equal to a square plus c square minus 2ac cos of angle opposite to b, capital B. So what is the angle? That is small b, right? Is it clear? Cosine law.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For example, if we have still, if cosine law is not enough, then we can have another law that is known as sine law. Let's see. The angle opposite to A is small a, the angle opposite to B is small b, and angle opposite to capital C is small c. So then in this law, what we can say, this side divided by sine of angle opposite to this one, which is A, that should be equal to this side divided by sine of angle opposite to this one, which is B, small b, that should be equal to this side divided by sine of angle opposite to this one, as you can see over here, right? So this is known as sine law. Okay, so we can apply cosine law and sine law to any triangle. Even if it is right angle triangle, still we can apply these two laws on those triangles, even on right angle triangle, right? Okay,
yes,
now
sir.
Let's move towards example. So here we are having this example: determine the weight in Newton of car whose mass is 1400 kg. So okay, whenever you need to solve any problem here, especially for this course, so what you need to do, the first thing that you will do, you will write down given data. Given data, whatever is given in question, you need to mention it. Then you will find out what is required, which data is required, and then in such step you need to draw a diagram. For example, you are having one vector, you are having two vectors, and then you are adding both of them, right? So you will draw that diagram with proper labeling. Then in fourth step, okay, you need to state assumption. If you have taken any assumption in your problem, then you need to follow this step, and then you will go toward solution, right? You can add this solution over here, this assumption over here in solution step. Assumption, for example, if you are making your, if you want to make your calculation simple by considering that we have considered, let's consider the automobile engine as a particle, or let's consider द सरफेस स्मूथ. एक फ्रिक्शन का आपने कोई प्रॉब्लम वगैरह करना है, ठीक है, वहां पे फ्रिक्शन कोई इफेक्ट नहीं है, सो हम एज्यूम कर लेते हैं, assumption that we made that the surface where motion takes place is a smooth one. ठीक है, तो अगर ऐसी कोई assumption आपने दी है, वो आप सोल्यूशन में भी मेंशन कर सकते हैं, अगर सोल्यूशन में नहीं तो ऊपर assumption में आप कर सकते हैं, बट ब्रॉडली हमारे पास ये 4 स्टेप होने चाहिए: गिवन डेटा, रिक्वायर्ड, डायग्राम एंड सोल्यूशन, राइट? मैं प्रॉब्लम में ये चीजें नहीं करवाऊंगा, बट यू हैव टू, मैं उसमें जस्ट सिंपल बेसिक कंसेप्ट दूंगा. ओके, सो मास गिवन है, इस कार का कितना है मास? जी
1400 सर.
और आपने क्या करना है, इसका वेट निकालना है न्यूटन में. कैसे करेंगे?
W is equal to mg.
वेरी गुड. फिर इन्होंने क्या कन्वर्ट द मास ऑफ कार इनटू स्लग्स. मास को क्या करे, स्लग्स में कन्वर्ट करे. मास गिवन है, ठीक है, और स्लग्स आपके पास जो है यूएस कस्टमरी या फुट पाउंड सिस्टम में यूनिट है. So we already know one slug is equal to how much kgs? That is about 14 point something. ठीक है, तो उससे आप कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं. फिर what is say determine its weight in pound. तो एक दफा आपके पास स्लग में आ गया तो फिर यही करें, if this is in slug, if this is in फुट पाउंड सिस्टम. सो फुट पाउंड सिस्टम में आपके पास जो जी की वैल्यू है वो 32.2 फुट पर सेकंड स्क्वायर है, राइट? और एसआई सिस्टम में क्या है, 9.81 मीटर पर सेकंड स्क्वायर. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this problem is very much easy, already solved. You kindly go through it. Then we have another problem. What is saying? Use Newton's law of gravitation to calculate the weight of person. Weight of person. This is the person standing on surface of Earth. Then repeat the calculation by using W is equal to mg and compare your result. Okay, use table D by 2. Table D by 2 is given in your book at the end of your book, from where you can take different constant values. Okay, so what they are saying, they say you use Newton's law of gravitation, which is this one. We know g value, we know mass of Earth, we know r square. If you don't know, take it from table D by 2, and the only unknown is this mass of person, which is 70 kg. When you put, you will get some answer. Then they say repeat your problem with W is equal to mg. When you do so, you will get some answer. Compare both of them, whether both of them are same or there is any difference. So almost both of them over here are almost same, and there might be little bit difference due to human calculation. Okay, then this one is as an important problem. Okay, so in this problem, what we need to do for a vector v1 and v2 shown in the figure, what we need to find, determine the magnitude of s of their vector sum. Means we are given with vector v1 and v2. What we need to do? We need to find their sum s, or in other words, we need to find out the resultant vector, right? G.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what we need to do, determine the angle alpha between s and the positive x-axis. Okay, so we need to find out the resultant vector, and once we do that resultant vector, uska magnitude hamare paas aa jaye, then we need to find out its angle with the positive x-axis. What we need to do? We need to find out the angle with the positive x-axis. So let's say the angle is alpha. Then we need to find its angle. Let's say that angle is alpha. Then in third, what we need to do, write s as a vector in terms of unit vector I and j. Okay, so it's a 2D system. What they are saying, write down s in vector form, means in vector form it will be having two components, one along x, one along y, and with x we will use unit vector I, and with y we will use unit vector j. How we will do it? Let's see. Okay, and then write down the unit vector. Then you need to find out the unit vector. We know that how we can find out unit vector. Just take vector and divide by its magnitude. And finally, in fourth part, we need to find out the vector difference. D is equal to V1 minus V2. Okay. So here we are having these two. So by using parallelogram law, we can extend this one and extend this one. When you do so, as shown over here, the diagonal will give us what? The resultant vector. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much is this angle, this one? How much is this angle?
45, sir.
45 plus 30, this two total.
Sir, ये 75.
75 hai. Is 75. Okay, if this is 75, what about this one?
75, sir.
75. Okay. What is the total angle? How much is the total angle in this? Means if we add all these four angles, this
360.
angle 360. So if I subtract
360.
360 minus 75 minus 75, what I will get?
210.
210. I get 210, right? So this means this 210 is half here and half here, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if I divide by 2, so I will get this angle as well as this angle. So divided by 2, what we will get?
105.
105. So the angle over here is 105, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
what is
sir.
the magnitude of this one? V2 magnitude?
3 units.
Okay, what is the magnitude of this V1?
4 units.
3 units.
Okay, what is the magnitude of S? We don't know, right?
Yes, sir.
So we are having this length, this magnitude, and we are having this angle opposite to S. So which law can we use?
Cosine law.
Cosine law. So let's use cosine law. S square is equal to 3 square plus 4 square minus 2, 3 into 4 into cos of angle opposite to S, which is 105. So by doing so, you will find out the magnitude. So your part first is solved, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you can see this angle is how much? 30 plus alpha.
Yes, sir.
Right? Okay, this is 105. This is how much?
105.
105. Okay, we are given with two angles and three lengths. All sides are known now. Okay. What I want to find out, what is required? I want to find out the angle of S with positive x-axis, right?
Yes, sir.
What is that angle? Alpha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if I use sine law, so sine law can be this side, means for example sine of 105 divided by this length, which is S, that can be equal to this sine of 30 plus alpha divided by opposite side, which is opposite side.
4.
This is V1. So 105, we can find this one. S is known, V1 is known. The only unknown in this equation is alpha. Can I find out this alpha?
Yes, sir.
Alpha.
Okay, so this is part second. So what we get? We solved that part second also, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that alpha from here we get it's 13.76 degree. So now what we get? We get a vector. Now we get this vector, and we get the angle that it make with positive x-axis, right? Can I find out the component of this s along x and y direction?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if this is the x component and if this is the y component, so इसका जो x component होगा s का, that will be s x is equal to s
S cos theta.
s cos alpha, right?
Yes, sir. Alpha.
And sy will be
Sin alpha.
sin alpha. Okay, to show the direction, I will put I with this one, and what I will put over here with sy?
J.
J. Right? So s will be equal to s vector form will be equal to s cos of alpha j plus s sine of alpha. Sorry, s cos of alpha I plus s sine of alpha j. Can I write it like this in vector form?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, this is what required in this part. Write s as a vector in terms of unit vector. So what they did over here, s vector is equal to s cos of alpha I plus s cos of s sine of alpha j, right? They have taken s common. Okay, so when you put the value of s and alpha, you will get this equation. So this is the required vector form. Now they are asking to find out the unit vector. Then write a unit vector n along the vector sum s. So what is unit vector? Unit vector can be vector divided by
Its magnitude.
Okay, so vector divided by its magnitude. So this is vector. We already know the magnitude, right? When you divide it by it, you will get this unit vector, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now they are asking to find out. Now the vector difference. They are asking to find what? The vector difference. So we are having vector v1 and this is v2. So we need to find out v1 minus v2. Okay, give me a few seconds kindly.
सर ने कहा वेट करो यार, बार बार क्यों मैसेजेस कर रहे हो?
Okay, so now we are about to solve the third part. They are asking for V1 minus V2. So we need to first find out negative of V2. So negative of V2 is minus V2, direction will be changed, join the tail, make the required parallelogram and try to find it out. This can be one of the way, right? The technique that they have used over here, it is basically rectangular components. It is basically technique of rectangular component. What they did, for example, we are having V1 over here. It is 4 units. The angle that it make over here, it is 45. So they find it out, the x component of V1, the y component of V1. So the x component is how much? V1 cos of 45. The y component is V1 sin of 45. Over here, they have find out the x and y component of V2. So x component is V2 cos of 30. Y component is V2 sin of 30. Right? So this you can see over here x and y both are positive. In this case, x is positive but y is negative. So they wrote down V1 in vector form in terms of I and j, and they also write down V2 in vector form and right. कर सकते हैं क्या क्या हम इसके कंपोनेंट्स फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं V1 और V2 के?
Yes sir.
Okay, so what they did, they find it out components of V1 and components of V2. Put it the components of V1 over here and components of V2 over here, means in vector form, and then they subtracted it. So what they can do, they can subtract x component from x and y component from y, right? When you do so, you will get this answer. This is known as vector addition or vector subtraction through rectangular components. इसमें आप क्या करते हैं, पहले हम first we try to find out the x component of all vectors, the y component of all vectors, then we add or we subtract all the x component and then the y components, right? So by doing so, what we get the resultant vector in terms of vector. So means यहाँ पे जो resultant vector है in terms of its component हमारे पास आ गया, this is x component, this is y component. If you want to find out its magnitude, so magnitude is very much easy, 0.23 whole square plus 4.33 whole square and take its square root, right? So by doing so, you can get your result. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes sir.
Yes. Okay. Sir. Now let's move towards GG.
Sir, kindly ये D part sir एक बार रिवाइज करवा दे.
Okay, D part में इन्होंने क्या किया है? They have find it out the V1 components is V1x, right? So V1x will be V1 cos of 45, right? And V1y will be V1 sin of 45, right? And both will be positive. X direction and Y direction will be positive. So you can see V1 cos of 45, V1 sin of 45. And they have put it for direction, the unit vector I and j, right?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. What they did for the second one, they again find it out their components. So x component will be positive, y component will be negative, right?
Okay, sir.
And then they put it in this equation. So they added x component together and y component together. So whatever sign they have, whether it's negative sign, so in negative definitely would be subtracted. If it is positive, it will be added. And they find it out the resultant vector.
Right, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Now let's move towards the exercise problem. So in exercise problem, you need to understand one thing. They have asked, determine the angle made by vector v with positive x-axis and positive y-axis. Write unit vector and in the direction of v. So let's see. This is y and this is x. This is y and this one is x. So this means if this is positive x, and if this is positive y. Imagine, I'm not relating to the question. I'm just drawing a vector A. I have drawn a vector A. I want to find out its angle with x-axis. So let's say the angle with x-axis is theta and the angle with y-axis is beta. Is it clear till this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For x component, can I write like this? Ax is equal to A what?
Cos alpha.
Cos theta. Theta, this is not that. Right? And Ay is equal to?
A sin theta.
A sin theta.
A sin theta.
A sin theta. Can I write this Ay is equal to A cos beta?
Yes, sir.
G, anyone else? Can I write it like this? So in this case, Ax will be A sin beta. So means you, for example, if you are considering this angle, so this component will be having cos. If you are considering this angle, so this component will be having cos, and the angle and the component opposite to it will come with sine. Right?
All right, sir.
Okay. So now what they are asking, they have given us this vector. The vector is minus 36i plus 15j, and they want us to find out its angle with the positive x-axis. So, okay. So can I write it like this? Vx is equal to V cos theta x, and Vy is equal to V cos theta y. Can I write it like this? जी, ऐसे हम लिख सकते हैं? काइंडली रिप्लाई करें यार, समझ नहीं आ रही तो पूछें।
सर एक के साथ कॉस आएगा तो आपने बोला दूसरे के साथ साइन आएगा फिर।
जी, तो ये एक के साथ
सर
ये वाला, एक के साथ मैंने ये वाला एंगल लिया, एक के साथ मैंने ये वाला एंगल ले लिया, एक के साथ मैंने थीटा एक्स ले लिया और एक के साथ मैंने बीटा की बजाय थीटा वाई कर दिया। ठीक है?
यस सर, ठीक है।
अच्छा, ओके। सो वी
समझ नहीं आई सर।
इसी वजह से मैं आपसे कह रहा हूँ ना, जरा एक्टिव रहे। उस टाइम आप पूछते नहीं है, एक्टिव नहीं रहते। ये देखें, दिस इज द वेक्टर, फॉर एग्जांपल दिस इज द वेक्टर। ये एंगल है आपके पास थीटा एक्स, ये आपके पास है थीटा वाई। ठीक है? दिस इज 60, दिस इज 30, फॉर एग्जांपल आपको समझाने के लिए कह रहा हूँ, ये एग्जैक्ट ये सिचुएशन नहीं है। ठीक है? एंड दिस इज वेक्टर वी। सो Vx is equal to V cos 60, right? And Vy is equal to V sin 60. V sin 60 या V cos 30 लिख सकता हूँ ऐसे?
Yes sir, समझ आ गई सर।
समझ आ गई है ना? Okay. So in this case, now we have Vx. Do we have Vx? This is Vx and this is Vy, right? लेकिन V हमारे पास नहीं है, तो V कैसे फाइंड आउट करेंगे? इन दोनों कंपोनेंट्स का स्क्वायर लेके ऐड कर दे, स्क्वायर रूट ले लें, राइट? सो आपके पास आ जाएगा मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ V। जी मुझे आप रिस्पॉन्स दे तो ताकि मैं आगे मूव करूं ना। 10-10 मरतबा मैं पूछ रहा हूं। ठीक है, फिर मैं आगे जाऊंगा, आप मुझसे 3 क्वेश्चन पीछे पूछेंगे, मैं आंसर नहीं करूंगा। ओके, सो नाउ फ्रॉम हियर वी हैव फाइंड आउट द cos theta x, Vx by V. When you do so, you will get this value. Take cos on the other side, so you will get theta x. Similarly, cos theta y is equal to Vy by Y, and from here you can find out theta y. Now they are asking for the unit vector, so you know what is unit vector? Vector divided by its magnitude. We have a vector, we are having its magnitude. Divide it, so you will get the unit vector. right?
Yes sir, clear sir.
Okay, now let's move toward the second problem. Now in this problem we need to have little bit focus. Determine the magnitude of vector sum v is equal to v1 plus v2. So what we need to do, we need to add both vectors, and then we will need to find out the angle theta x which we make with the positive x-axis. So the angle which resultant make with positive x-axis, we need to find that one. Complete both graphical and algebraic solution. Complete both graphical and algebraic solution, right?
Yes sir.
Okay, now let's okay, so let's say in this problem what we can do. So do we have angle over here? Angle है हमारे पास?
Yes sir, 30.
Yes sir.
What about this angle?
ये भी 30 का होगा.
Yes sir, यहाँ पे
Why 30? They have given
Yes,
this
sir.
one. This angle will be equal to this one. So they have given this right angle triangle. So from here we can find out, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when you find it out, the angle will be 53.1. This one will be 53.1, right? Tangent theta is equal to perpendicular by base, and tangent inverse will give you this angle. So that will be 53.1. कर लेंगे ये?
Yes sir, हो जाएगा.
Okay. Now let's say the first method is graphical method. So graphical method, over here we are given 27 units. So 27 unit, what mean by unit? If you say 1 unit is equal to 1 kilometer, so 27 unit will become 27. So we cannot draw it on page. If I say 1 unit is equal to 1 mm, so 27 unit will become how much?
27 mm.
27 mm. So 27 mm means 2.7 centimeter. It will be a little bit small. छोटा होगा ना ये?
जी sir.
Okay, so now इसको double कर देते हैं. 1 unit is equal to 2 mm कर देते हैं. Let's say unit scale हम कर देते हैं. Scale is equal to 1 unit is equal to 2 mm, right? So ये कितना बन जाएगा? 27 unit बन जाएगा
54.
और ये कितना बन जाएगा? 42 mm. So अभी हम अपना जो डी है हमारे पास या जो रूलर वगैरह है वो उठाएंगे, ठीक है? We will draw XY lines and then D यहाँ पे रखेंगे, and with the help of D we will draw 54 mm line with angle 30. D से 30 का एंगल सेट करेंगे और लाइन कितनी लगाएंगे हम जी? कितनी लाइन लगाएंगे? 54 और यहाँ पे हम 53.1 एंगल सेट करेंगे और 42 की लाइन लगाएंगे, ठीक है? राइट? इसको ऐसे एक्सटेंड करेंगे, इसको ऐसे एक्सटेंड करेंगे, यहाँ पे ड्रॉ करेंगे अपना रिजल्टेंट, राइट? ओके, क्या करेंगे हम बेसिकली यहाँ पे डायगोनल पे हमारा क्या आ जाएगा? हमारा रिजल्टेंट आ जाएगा. रिजल्टेंट, इस रिजल्टेंट की लेंथ निकालेंगे हम. फॉर एग्जांपल ये लेंथ हमारे पास आ गई यहाँ पे कितनी आ गई? ये हमारे पास आ गई 60 mm. अगर ये 60 mm आ जाती है तो ये कितने यूनिट्स के बराबर होगा?
30 यूनिट्स.
इसका मतलब होगा 30 यूनिट्स का. तो रिजल्टेंट हमारे पास 30 यूनिट्स हो जाएगा, राइट? ये मैं आपको सिर्फ मिसाल दे रहा हूँ कि कैसे करना. ओके, इसका एंगल कैसे निकालना है पॉजिटिव एक्सिस के साथ? डी आप यहाँ पे रखेंगे, ठीक है? और ये जो एंगल है ये एंगल फाइंड आउट करेंगे. दिस विल बी योर थीटा एक्स. दिस इज ग्राफिकल मेथड, राइट?
ठीक है सर.
सो इन्होंने जब ग्राफिकल मेथड से किया, इनके पास जो रिजल्टेंट आया v, वो कितना आया?
32 मीटर.
32 इनके पास आ गया, ठीक है? और इन्होंने जब एंगल निकाला वो एंगल कितना है
70 डिग्री।
वो 70 डिग्री इनके पास आ गया। ठीक है, सो नाउ लेट्स सी अभी क्या है, अभी हम इसको करते हैं अलजेब्रिक सोल्यूशन से। इन्होंने क्वेश्चन में क्या किया, कंप्लीट बोथ ग्राफिकल एंड अलजेब्रिक सोल्यूशन। अलजेब्रिक सोल्यूशन ये है कि मींस किसी फार्मूला वगैरह से आप कर लें। तो अभी आप देखें व्हाट दे आस्क फॉर, they asked us to find out this v, ये v है ना, and this one is v2 and this one is v1, right?
Yes sir.
This one is v1. Give me a few seconds. Okay, so now we know that this angle is 30. We know that this angle is 30, right? And we know that v1 is how much? 27.
27 units.
And v2 is 21.
21 units.
Right? Okay. And what about this angle? We don't know this angle. We don't know this angle. Okay. Let's see. This is the proper diagram which they draw. How much is the angle here?
53.
53. This angle is 53. This angle is 53, right? And how much is the angle with
Yes.
v1?
30.
30.
30 degrees.
30. So this angle is how much? This is 30. This is how much?
30.
What about this whole angle?
180.
180.
So if we subtract 180 minus 53.1 minus 30, 180 minus 83.1 करी
97.
97
जी?
आता है सर। 97
नहीं,
97.
वो कैसे आता है यार
96.9।
सर
96.9 96.9 96.9 राइट?
यस सर।
ओके, सो दिस एंगल हमारे पास ये जो एंगल आ गया ये 96.9 आ गया। ये कितना होगा? ये भी 96.9 होगा ना?
96.9.
ओके, ये भी 96.9। अच्छा, इन तमाम एंगल तमाम को अगर ऐड कर दें हम, इसको भी ऐड कर दें, इसको भी ऐड करें, चारों को, कितना क्या चीज आएगी हमारे पास? 360 आ जाएगा।
यस सर।
360.
360 माइनस 96.9 माइनस 96.9 करे तो क्या जाएगा? जरा चेक करें। जी
सर 193.8 यहाँ से आ गया और 360 से माइनस करना है तो
जी 166.2 आ जाएगा।
यस सर बिल्कुल सर।
अच्छा, ये 166 जो है इसका हाफ यहाँ पे होगा और हाफ यहाँ पे होगा ना?
यस सर।
सही है, इसकी समझ आ रही है? इसका
Yes,
हाफ यहाँ
sir.
पे हो जाए। अच्छा, तो जरा डिवाइड बाय 2 करें 166.2 तो ये 83.1 हो गया। अच्छा, अभी हमारे पास क्या है, यहाँ पे ये 27 यूनिट्स है, ये 21 यूनिट्स है, ये एंगल भी हमारे पास है। तो क्या हम क्या हम ये v निकाल सकते हैं?
यस सर।
यस सर।
कैसे निकालेंगे?
कोसाइन लॉ।
तो ये कोसाइन लॉ से हमने क्या कर दिया, v निकाल दिया। ठीक है।
यस सर।
ओके, गिव मी a few seconds time.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर।
चला गया क्या? रखा गया।
Okay, so now what we need to find out, we need to find out the angle that it make with positive x-axis. In other words, हमें इस v का एंगल पॉजिटिव x के साथ निकालना है, which is थीटा x. ठीक है, ये एंगल हमारे पास है. Do we have this angle?
Yes sir.
Yes sir.
कितना है?
30 है सर.
और अगर ये हमारे पास आ जाए ना, तो ये दोनों की कॉम्बिनेशन हमें थीटा x दे देगा. राइट? So let's say इस एंगल को हम नाम देते हैं बीटा. So let's say थीटा x क्या हो जाएगा? क्या हो जाएगा थीटा x? 30 डिग्री प्लस बीटा. राइट?
Yes sir. Yes sir.
ओके. अच्छा, ये लेंथ आपके पास है ना अभी? मींस ये आपके पास है, इसका मैग्नीट्यूड है, इसका मैग्नीट्यूड भी है, इसका मैग्नीट्यूड भी है, और ये एंगल भी है. तो क्या बाय यूजिंग दिस थ्री लेंथ्स और एक एंगल भी है, क्या ये एंगल आप नहीं निकाल सकते?
यस सर, इसको फाइंड कर सकते हैं सर.
किस तरह?
सर इसको तो हम साइन थीटा से भी कर सकते हैं सर.
एग्जैक्टली. ओके, साइन लॉ से कर लेते हैं. साइन लॉ से कैसे करेंगे? फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पे आप देखिए, साइन ऑफ बीटा डिवाइड बाय दिस साइड, राइट, इज इक्वल टू साइन ऑफ 83.1 divided by this side. Sin of beta divided by 21 is equal to sin of 83.1 divided by 32.2. Right? यहाँ पे एक ही अननोन है, which is beta. So beta यहाँ पे हमारे पास आ जाएगा. बीटा आ जाएगा. और थीटा x किस चीज के बराबर था?
बीटा प्लस 30.
बीटा प्लस 30. तो इसके साथ 30 ऐड कर दे, क्या आ जाएगा? 70.4 हो जाएगा ना?
यस सर.
यस सर.
70.4 हो जाएगा. इसको मैं थोड़ा साइड पे कर दूं. अच्छा, तो ये देखें, यहाँ पे आप आंसर देखते हैं, थीटा x इज इक्वल टू बीटा प्लस 30 विच इज 40.4 प्लस 30 70.4. सो आप देख लें, ग्राफिकली जब इन्होंने किया था हमारे पास ये आंसर 32 आ रहा था, थीटा x हमारे पास 70 आ रहा था. अभी जब हमने अलजेब्रिक तरीके से किया तो मैग्नीट्यूड हमारे पास 30, रिजल्टेंट का 32.2 आ गया है, और जो एंगल वो बना रहा था विद पॉजिटिव एक्स एक्सिस वो कितना आ गया? वो हमारे पास आ गया 70.4. ऑलमोस्ट हमारे पास सेम आंसर आ रहे हैं. इज इट क्लियर?
यस सर.
यस सर.
ओके, नाउ लेट्स सी एक दूसरा सेम प्रॉब्लम है, लेकिन इसमें आपने क्या करना है? नाउ इन दिस केस यू नीड टू फाइंड आउट v2 माइनस v1. ठीक है, तो क्या करेंगे? v2 को अपनी जगह पे रहने देंगे और v1 का नेगेटिव निकालेंगे, नेगेटिव ऑफ v1, और उसी तरीके से आप इस प्रॉब्लम को भी सॉल्व कर लेंगे. सो दिस इज योर होम टास्क, आप इसको खुद ट्राई कर लें. ठीक है?
यस सर.
ओके, नाउ these are few problems जो again you need to try those problems. They are from chapter 1. They are saying a force is applied, a force is specified by vector F is equal to 160I plus 80J minus 120K, and overall unit is Newton. Calculate the angle F made with positive x-axis, positive y-axis and positive z-axis. इसी तरह का एक प्रॉब्लम हमने किया है. ठीक है, with one difference के इसमें आपके पास fz जो होगा that will be equal to f cos theta z, क्योंकि ये 3D प्रॉब्लम है. सही है?
यस सर.
Okay, now what is the mass in both slugs and kilogram of 1000 lb beam? आपको क्या है? वेट गिवन है पाउंड्स में. आपने क्या निकालना है? इससे मास निकालना है. W is equal to mg. जी की वैल्यू 32.2 है. वहां से जब निकालेंगे स्लग्स में आ जाएगा. स्लग्स को आप केजी में कन्वर्ट कर लें. राइट?
यस सर.
अच्छा, फिर फ्रॉम ग्रेविटेशनल लॉ कैलकुलेट द वेट ऑफ एन 80 kg मेन इन एयरक्राफ्ट. वही उसी तरह ग्रेविटेशनल लॉ से रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम है. इजी, आप इसको देख लें. एंड सोल्यूशन मैनुअल भी मौजूद है इन केस इसमें जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, लेकिन अगर बहुत ज्यादा मसला हो जाता है सो यू कैन मींस लुक इनटू इट. फिर ये देखिए, डिटरमिन द वेट इन न्यूटन ऑफ वुमेन whose weight in pound is 125. पाउंड में गिवन है, आपने न्यूटन में कन्वर्ट करना है. आल्सो फाइंड हर मास इन स्लग्स एंड केजी. तो न्यूटन में भी आपके पास वेट है और पाउंड में भी है. ठीक है, जी की वैल्यू आपके पास है, W इज इक्वल टू mg से आप इनका मास निकाल लें. एंड डिटरमिन योर ओन वेट इन न्यूटन. आपका अपना जो वेट है, ठीक है, उसको भी आप न्यूटन में निकालें. मीन मास आपको ऑलरेडी पता है, मल्टीप्लाई बाय 9.81 कर दे तो आपको आंसर मिल जाएगा। ओके, सो अगेन यहाँ पे जो दो प्रॉब्लम है, अगर कहीं पे आपके पास मास ऑफ अर्थ या मास ऑफ मून या फॉर एग्जांपल डिस्टेंस बिटवीन अर्थ एंड मून या रेडियस ऑफ अर्थ की जरूरत पड़ती है, सो दैट इज गिवन इन टेबल D/2। सो यू काइंडली गो थ्रू दीज प्रॉब्लम्स and this is the end of today's class. If you are having any question regarding today's class, you can ask, otherwise मैं फिर recording बंद कर देता हूँ। Okay, so I'm going to turn off recording। उसके बाद अगर जनरल कोई डिस्कशन आपने करनी है वो आप कर सकते हैं।